Hello and welcome. We are here running Call of Cthulhu on this. I think we've all agreed it's roughly a stormy evening. It's a game of horror and investigation and the supernatural. Like a lot of horror, it often deals with some sensitive subject matter. We've all talked in advance and set up our safety stuff, but if you're one of the viewers, just a heads up, or if you're watching this later, a heads up that we're going to deal with some light discussions of that racism exists, mostly about the Irish, because we're in the 1920s. And there'll be some references to some levels of violence, but it's all going to be, I'm not going to be going into nitty gritty, gory details. So if that's not your cup of tea, you don't need to feel obligated to stay here. I've got a wonderful table of people, and we're going to be heading back to 1923 Boston. We're going to do the round of character introductions really quick. Oh, I don't know how to do this because I always forget how Zoom organizes it. I'm going to start with Elizabeth Grimm.
Hello, I am Lizbeth K. Grimm, and I use she, her pronouns, and I am an antique dealer being played by Katie Protos, who is a therapist living in Connecticut.
And then I'm just going clockwise from how they appear on my end, which will bring us to Mercedes Dorman.
I'm Mercedes Tracy Dorman. I'm from Virginia, and I do nefarious acts for money. And I am being played by Haley. I live in Boston, where I am a licensed clinical psychologist. And I'm just thrilled to be here.
Then next up is Massima Venturelli.
All right. I am Massima. I am a 28-year-old spunky reporter from Boston, Massachusetts. And I am looking to investigate the crazy shenanigans that are going on. And I'm being played by Nikki, who is a LMHC in Western Massachusetts.
For me, that brings us to Luther.
Hello, I am Luther, Timothy Abeyance. I am a doctor here in Boston, and in real life, I am played by Adam. I am in Vancouver, Washington, and I am turning in my LMHC paperwork tomorrow.
Hey, congratulations.
Thank you.
That brings us to Marcus Robert Hayes.
I'm Marcus Robert Hayes, the boxer from London. I'm 20 years old. I'm a male, and in real life, I'm played by Erin Brooks, she, her, and I am in Austin, Texas.
Phenomenal. And that brings us to Gabriel Zahn.
Okay, I'm going to reverse it. I'm Dr. Greg Anderson. I'm in the deep freeze of Wisconsin right now, where we're about 14 below. Yeah, I'm going to be playing Gabriel Zahn, the archaeologist from London, England, here to investigate the strangeness that we find on the Eastern Seaboard.
Awesome. And I forgot to ask this before, but is everyone cool who is referring to as your character name? Makes life a little bit easier for me, but if you're not cool with it, just let me know. I have mostly thumbs up. There's one from Aaron. There were a few, Greg. Awesome. So it is early December in Boston. It is frigidly cold, and it is the morning of December 3rd specifically. And you've all been woken from bed in the frustratingly early hours of the morning. The sun has not yet risen when you have each of you separately or together, as the case may or may not be, have a young, patchy-faced patrolman wake you up. And Detective Francis Murdoch, whom you've all dealt with in the past, you all have worked with in the past. He is an Irish detective, and he is that rare breed of 1920s detective where he doesn't put much stock in prohibition. He's just trying to keep things on an even keel, and he'll bend the law, but very much in the case of like he's trying to just keep the overall violence and chaos to a minimum. You've all dealt with him in the past. You all owe him favors. Our archaeologist has probably worked with him on a couple of vaguely supernatural or oddly suspicious stolen goods cases in the past. Our reporter's probably gotten a couple of leads from him. But you all get shuffled out your doors by patrolman because he's calling in the favors. And you get brought to a pretty desolate black back alley on the south shore, where they have a couple of patrolmen up in their blues who are keeping back the crowd that's starting to gather around this alley. And the stout Murdoch with his wide-brimmed hat is sucking on a cigarette and looking stressed, as you all kind of get together and introductions are made for those who don't know each other, and comments about it being frigidly cold. And you're driven in, and Murdoch kind of pulls you all together, and pulls you into the alley a little bit, just back from the crowd behind the cordon, but not enough that you're able to see the full way down. It's still quite dark, and he goes in a pretty thick Irish Boston accent, which I cannot do. I'm not even going to try, but just imagine. He goes, "This is a tricky one. I need some outside help. There's a political component to this one, and a lot of my folks, they're Irish, and this needs to be above reproach. We can't have anything going on too suspicious. So, deputizing a lot of y'all for this one case, just to make sure that it's all done. And I need to make sure that this doesn't end up being a larger problem than it already is. So what we got down this alley is the third murder in what looks like a series of them, all killed the same way, and they all look like they're targeted towards people involved in first two are in the Irish community. The third one is back there is Kerna Franz, so German, but she has a lot of connections in the Irish community as well. So we got a bit of a political mess here. So hence bringing all of you in.
Don't think you'll have any problem saying that it's not the Irish looking into it with folks like us on the payroll, but is there anything in this for ourselves, detective?
Well, I'll call off one of those favors you owe me, and you'll get the daily and expenses.
Well, I do believe that will be calling us square, so I'm in.
A pleasure as always.
What are the What are the qualifications that that I can report on? I want to make sure that the public knows what has happened accordingly.
Well, the investigation's on. We're keeping a tight lid on this. Once I bring you up to speed, you'll understand, but you'll have a front row seat to report it. And as soon as it gets cracked, you're free to do whatever you want with it.
It's good enough for me.
Lisbeth wants to know if there are any interesting items found around the bodies, or any just kind of clothing or curiosities that are important. And of those, if there are non-important to the case, if Lisbeth can add them to her collection.
Well, I understand that, various belongings go into evidence, and if they're not claimed, who's to say what happens to them? The first two scenes have already been dealt with, but
Well,
the last
I
one's
think
still
we'll be
there.
doing our due diligence to get right on top of this immediately, so that the scene isn't disturbed. You
Well,
understand.
it's all yours.
So I have access to the previous autopsy reports.
Yeah, I can get that for you. If you have any other questions about the first two are Malcolm Donaghy. He's a comptroller out in Revere. And then second one is Michael St. Cyr. He was a reporter for the Times.
And then do I have actually access to those reports? Do I have them already? Or
You just got to swing by the police station, and he'll give you the reports. Basically, he just didn't think to bring them out.
And if the part of, was there any object or anything left at the scene or taken from the scene that stood out?
Well, Donaghy, comptroller, he lives out in Revere, so a bit on the rural side, and then he lives right at the edge of town there, in an old house that used to be a farmhouse, and the city kind of grew up around it. So the way what his wife tells it, he gets up in the middle of the night because he says he hears something in the backyard. She doesn't even fully wake up. They have an old barn back there, and she figures it's either local kids or deer or something. And she drifts back off and doesn't find the body until the following morning. So he's found in the backyard, in his house coat. And he's been decapitated. So there's nothing on his body, but
answers the cause of death question.
yeah. So that's the long and the short for him. St. Cyr was found in an alley as well, just like Franz here. Same thing. All three of them are decapitated. Clean cuts too. It's the strangest thing. So he's a reporter, so he's got his notes on him. Seems like he was just coming from a interview where he looks like he's been reading up on the mayor and whether or not he's going to be going to prison.
Why would the mayor be going to prison?
Well,
would that be something that?
Oh, you're Massimo would definitely know. So the mayor is just very, very publicly a crook. He's a corrupt politician who is using the police force to enforce prohibition laws on his political enemies, but not his allies, taking bribes, selling position. He's just a crook.
And
The
now
Irish?
these notes are already in evidence, or are they on the body?
There'd be an evidence.
Okay.
Sears' body and Donaghy's body have been taken out already.
Okay.
And he's got a smashed brownie, which we couldn't get much from.
Like the
And a
food?
business card for an Alice.
Do-
Oh.
Brownie, like the food?
A brownie would be a camera. It's an old
Oh.
timey camera.
Oh, thanks.
I was like, oh, delicious.
No, it's the like it's kind of like a Kodak would have been, but
Mhm.
Got it. Okay.
and he's got a business card for one Alice Mcdermott from Clan Nagale.
Alice Mcdermott from what?
Clan Nagale. CLAN space NA space GAEL. It's a Irish advocacy organization.
Mhm. Is the mayor Irish?
The mayor is Irish. In this era, Boston is functionally a great big competition between old money, the Irish, and the Italians. With everyone else, unfortunately, serving as pawns for the various political crime machines that exist.
One of these
Think we should-
people who was sorry.
Go ahead.
One of these people who was murdered was German. Where do they? How does that play into the mix here?
Well, that's Franz. He's just in the back alley there, and well, Irish neighborhood for one. Two, she's known to be a regular at Lonesome Kate's, which a bunch of the heavy hitters tend to go to. And she's got a notebook on her that suggests she's had some pretty interesting meetings. And same cause of death. So
Can I read the notebook?
you certainly can.
All right.
I think the
Uh,
important connection is that two people had notebooks, not that they were all decapitated. Let's focus up.
Well, do we know where the heads are?
That's a good question.
All
It's a good
heads were found with the
question.
bodies.
Oh,
Okay.
About,
Just
about,
like neatly next to them.
Like,
about 3 feet away.
Okay.
The way we reckon it, they were hit with some force, and looks like the heads go flying down the alley, or where have they?
so they're not like neatly placed 3 feet away, like looking back at the body or anything like that.
Nope.
Okay, just checking. It's happened before.
It's a good. Oh,
I think we should have a look at the crime scene.
has it?
Yeah. The papers. It is a set of dates and meetings and some sort of code to them. So for example, on the 11th of November, no, sorry, the 11th of November, she met with Lombardo, who is a Italian crime boss from Boston. She has 2 entries, one in October and one back in February for, it says Red Book. So it says Red Books, and then it says 15 CE. And then there is one that says Curly, who's the mayor. And then it ends, then it says Schupo next to it, which is a German derogatory word. And then she has a number of meetings with Malone. And then it says LK after that.
What makes us think there's a code here?
15 CE, LK, and then a lot of them will have like combinations of letters and numbers at the end after the entry.
Hmm.
How would one go about cracking this code if I were to use one of my investigator skills?
Yeah. Do you
During your
have?
practice coding.
I'm a reporter, so I figure I might be good at this sort of thing.
Yeah. You can roll me a history check. I'm going to need a hard or better, or you can roll
Okay.
me an education where I'll need an extreme.
Because
Because you are doing it just off of the single piece of evidence.
Yes, I'm trying to. I don't see education on the list.
Education is
Upper right.
top
Yeah.
right.
Can I help them to help
Yes.
like share my education and history type stuff?
So the way that works is one of you chooses to be leading,
Mhm.
and the other person just is helping, which gives you a reroll of the tens dice, basically, and you take the better result.
I'll go with history.
Sounds good.
Okay. I've got on history a 70. What's yours?
A 60. So your history is actually better.
There you go.
If you went education, I was 90.
Mine is a 86. But we don't want higher numbers. We want low numbers, right?
Yeah, but 90
roll.
means you have a bigger thing to roll underneath.
Oh.
Yeah, go with your education.
Okay,
And then you're only
education.
4 under me, so go with yours.
Education.
Remember, it's an extreme success for education or a hard success for history.
Oh,
And if you're
Well,
healthy,
I already rolled my dice.
Okay.
You said that I get to re-roll the tens dice,
yes,
which
because
is
you're
the
being helped.
percentile die.
Yes.
Okay. 53. My education says 86, 43, 17.
So you have done a normal success, but not a hard or an extreme success. So you can't make heads or tails of that. You do find at the front of the book, though, an address, which is just around the corner.
Well,
And if
I
lost,
have no
return
idea
to.
what this says, but look at this address.
I believe someone, though, said they wanted to go look at the crime scene.
Yes, I would like to move us to the crime scene to investigate that.
I would
Yeah.
also like to go to the crime scene.
Yeah. Before you make any rolls, so she is down the alleyway quite a bit farther. It is a paved alleyway, so there's no tracks or anything. Although it is cold, there's not a lot of snow. She has a few scrapes on her knees. A few scrapes and cuts on her knees and arms. Her head is about 4 feet down the alley. She had a ring mesh handbag lying open with the contents strewn across the cobblestones. And so going through that really quickly, you have a set of house keys, a cigarette case with cigarettes, a lighter, lipstick, makeup powder, $200 in cash.
Whoa.
Which for context is about $2,500 in modern currency, and a multi-tool, including small screwdrivers, a set of needle nose pliers, a thin knife, and the like.
Can I grab some of this?
I mean, if no other player is going to stop you,
I would like to.
I would like to not do this in an obvious manner, but I want that multi-tool.
you want that multi-tool.
Yes, I do.
That is very much a roll you can make.
Can I contribute to kind of like screening our cop friend from seeing this, like stand in the way?
You don't even need to. He's left you to it.
He just doesn't care. All right.
Well, he cares, but the chain of evidence is not a concept yet. Right? Like,
Okay.
you'll show up and be like, yeah, I totally found this here. Chains of evidence are not a thing yet. That would be a stealth roll.
Uh-oh. I did not make it. I rolled a
No, I mean,
77.
you're not sneaky about it. You kind of fumble it and drop it. So everyone knows?
Oh, oops. I'll just polish this up and just make sure to bring it into evidence later, and then I obviously pocket it.
Our doctor could make a medicine roll to look at the body. Kind of do an initial. You wouldn't be doing a full autopsy, but you can do kind of like a quick, like, oh,
Right, like hands in pockets, like walking around the body, looking at it, kind of.
Yep.
Thing. Yeah.
Definitely dead.
definitely.
What's that quote from Sherlock? It's a penetrating diagnosis, but I did hope you'd go deeper.
Are those house keys her house keys? Is there any way to check if they belong to her, if they're to somebody else's house?
Ooh, maybe they go to the address on this notebook.
Yep. That's their house keys.
What do I roll to do the autopsy?
A medicine.
Okay, I figured. That's double check. So I'm trying to get just under 75.
Yep. Tell me if you get a hard or extreme success, because you may or may not get further information.
I got an 11.
You got an 11. I believe that's an extreme success.
That sounds like a really good roll.
Oh,
Über Success. Sehr erfolgreich. Schön gemacht.
got it. Okay, so the scratches and slashes on her arms look defensive. So it looks like she knew this was coming. I mean, you rolled phenomenally well, so you're getting all the information. Based upon your kind of look of it, she saw her assailant. She started running, or sorry, she tried to fend them off a little bit, started running down the alley, probably stumbled at some point based upon the bruising in the knees, gets up, and then whoever is coming gets her from behind, and it is one cut that causes the decapitation. She is an older woman. She's in her you'd say her early to mid 50s, but looks quite healthy, which is notable because it's the 1920s and she's in a poor neighborhood. So looking that old and quite healthy in itself is suggestive.
Right, having $2,500 in her purse, like we can reasonably assume this is a well-off person in a bad neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay.
Yep.
Can Luther tell if it was a blade or what was used to decapitate her?
That was literally my next question.
Yeah, it's a good point that I forgot to say. It is very definitely a blade. It is something exceedingly sharp and swung with exceeding force. You would almost think it was a guillotine, except for the blood spray and other details suggest that it went like sideways at her.
Okay. What does the angle of the slice indicate about the height of the attacker?
Doctor.
Yeah,
Point. It actually suggests that either her attacker is very tall or was riding a horse.
Okay.
It comes down a bit, and that would actually further support hitting with extra force.
Okay.
There isn't a way to look for horse prints in the mud and muck, is there? I guess a lot of people are riding around our horses. Yeah.
In 1920s, it's still not uncommon people are on horses.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially, this is like a poorer quasi-industrial area. You're not super far from the docks, so like it'd still be not uncommon for like a horse-drawn carriage or something to go through.
But down
Can I go ahead.
is it just but down an alley? Like how big is this alley?
Horse sized.
Yeah,
Okay.
this is an alley that
Minimum horse size. We have
I should have
Horse, the
specified.
person, but not the person's head. You can't all make
Should have
it.
specified. This is like a tenement area, so these are apartment buildings. So
Okay.
this alley is wide enough that the coal carriage can get down there, so they
Gotcha.
can dump coal in.
Gotcha.
So it's probably 5 to 6 feet across.
Mhm.
Does it appear that the attack happened and then someone searched through her belongings, or that like she was attacked and just dropped everything and it sort of just spilled there?
It looks like it. She dropped and it spilled, and you head over to the cops and talk to them just to confirm, and you find out that the first responder got here at about 4 a.m. When someone was on the beat and discovered it, and said that there was no evidence when he got here that anyone went through it, and he hasn't seen anything since. Luther, based upon that and the description from him, it's a pretty wide window, but you'd say time of death was between 11 and 3.
Can I take a look at the belongings that were scattered around and see if anything's like a trick, something or other, like the lipstick is really a microscope?
Nope. The oddest thing there is a really high-end multi-tool.
Okay. I also think that there was a mistake made. According to my numbers, there's only $150 on the ground, not 200. Okay, making it clear.
So,
Just in case we need that.
that's the long and the short of what there is at the crime scene. So you got a few different leads you can kind of chase down. You got an apartment nearby. You can go check the other cases at the police station. You know that she was a regular at Lonesome Kate's, which all of you would know is a private club where membership can be got for a nickel. And it serves liquor. They're not buying more liquor, wink. They're just still going through their old supplies, which was a tactic that, as long as you we still have it, we're still selling back stock, it was legal. As long as you're a private club and you're being responsible and all that. But that was one of the ways that high-end places go. Like, oh no, we have actually a whole warehouse of whiskey.
I want to take these cigarettes and investigate the apartment. That's my vote.
Should we split the party? Is that something that this is a good thing to do in this game, or should we all stay together?
I'm always leery about splitting the party.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm
I
also-
also personally am also voting for the house, but let's hear what everybody wants to do.
So Lisbeth is voting for the house.
I'm voting for the house.
Hereby
I'll go with you
address.
guys. I'm strong enough. I'm not scared.
As those was the house.
So it's just a bit around the corner. It is less a house and more of another tenement. You, from looking at the front thing and her keys, by the front thing I mean the oh my gosh, what is it called? At the front of an apartment building where it's who lives directory. Words this evening. You find out she lives on the 4th floor, which your characters would know, or your characters would know, in this era, living higher up in a not great building is cheaper because there are no elevators. So you pay less because you're higher up. Further, the smells and smoke of everyone below you is just coming up into your unit. But you're able to make it into the foyer with one of her keys. So it looks like this is her building, or the building for the keys, I should say. And you can make your way up to the 4th story, top story of the building. And there is the apartment, 412.
Oh, wait, quick point of clarification. I should have asked way before we started.
Not a problem.
Are our characters aware that supernatural stuff exists in this world?
So you can have suspicions. You can have, minor. It's a bit like X-Files, right? No one. You can be a Mulder or you can be a Scully, but you don't have any definitive proof of the super.
Got it.
So no one has any Cthulhu mythos at this point?
No, none of the default characters do. Heading in the apartment?
Yes.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So you open the apartment door, and it is not like what your character suspected. The building you're in is in a poor area. It is a crummy building. The hallways up have had garbage and compost that's not going to be taken to a compost bin or anything. On the stairs and on the landings on the way up. You open the door to her apartment, and it's still like the building is not great, but it is relatively luxurious. There is a velvet shade lounge with a gramophone on it, quietly playing some German classical, or there is a wall of books. There's a desk. You see a small kitchenette off to the side, and then there is a door that's open, and you can see that there is a bedroom beyond. On the Chez Lounge, to close up the introduction, there is a gentleman in his silk house coat, lounging himself and reading the paper. He looks up and is obviously startled and says something in Spanish, which I don't think any of your characters speak.
Just this version of my character
Yeah.
speak French, and so could kind of infer a little bit.
Yeah. Expletives of astonishment and concern he's being burgled.
Sure.
And goes and
He's
kind of
fine,
like,
don't worry.
he goes, oh, I think this is the wrong unit.
He did it.
Yeah.
Marcus,
Can I help
get it.
you?
Looking for Lady Frau Franz. Is this not her apartment?
This is Corinna's apartment. Yes,
Did he say Cornez?
Corinna. Her name is
Corinna.
Corinna Franz.
Cornez.
So he referred to her by her first name. It's very familiar.
Where were you between 11 and 3?
It's the point, I like it.
Here, Corinna left at about 1. She had a meeting.
Cornetta had a meeting at 1 a.m.
I don't ask about her business.
What part of her business are you involved in?
The more personal side of it.
How is this for personal? She is dead.
He goes into he kind of like his face just falls. He drops his pipe. And you can see he's not taking this well.
As I think he is innocent.
Tears well up. And it sounds like he starts praying in Spanish.
I'll take this
He's a
opportunity
great
to
actor.
quietly examine the desk.
The desk. Are you just looking at it or are you poking around?
I'm gonna rifle through it, actually.
Oh,
I think
you're right.
Luther and I are going to be sort of like taking care of this gentleman, but also blocking Gabriel from view. Oh, do you need a glass of water? Why don't you just sit back down and just put your feet up? And this is a great shock to your system, and that sort of stuff.
I have in my pocket a pack of amarillos. You may smoke them. They are recommended by 4 out of 5 doctors.
Phenomenal. I mean, he's got the pipe, so he's gonna be sticking with that. But he's very thankful. Can you roll me a spot hidden for going through that desk, please?
Ooh,
Hey, 9.
nice.
This is how I typically roll.
So first of all, this desk, you're an archaeologist, right, Gabriel?
Yep.
You would love to have a desk like this. This is obviously an old world antique. It is solid, heavy hardwood. You are almost a little bit like put out that you would have such like a nice piece of furniture that probably dates back at the 150 years. In this apartment, you're like, this is probably worth more than a month of her rent, easily. You ruffle through it. You find a. Oh my! Everything okay?
Mhm.
Oh, okay. A ledger. It looks like the accounting book for a business of some kind. There is a couple of scraps of paper, including you actually find one is kind of in the seam of the accounting ledger, and it looks like it's kind of like a grid of letters. There is a number of pieces of correspondence. A lot of it's in German. She has sent a number of letters in German to an address in London. And it's all to the same address. And then a couple of recent periodicals on chemistry.
I slip some of these things into the bag to be examined later, collect up, kind of a,
Lisbeth can roll an intelligence or education, whichever is higher about that address.
Okay.
Because it's not a thing that everyone would know, so you don't get it for free just for being from London.
Okay.
So intelligence and education are both top right. Oh, Gabriel's on here also. So you can as well.
Okay. Hard success.
Hard success. Those are letters to the German embassy
Ooh.
in London. Marcus points out a good point. Looking at the grid of letters, that's part of the code key to decode the code in the notebook.
Mhm.
So that allows y'all to make a roll again. That's going to be a lot easier to solve because you now have more pieces of the puzzle.
While they are doing that, we're still in the apartment, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
They're going
while they are.
And I was going to come back to Mercedes and
Okay. Cool.
you dealing with you get his name is Theobald. And he's being very cagey about what his last name may or may not be.
So
It is okay. You can tell me your name. I am a doctor.
Yeah, can I put my hand
I'm gonna
on
finish
shoulder?
the paperwork bit. We'll come
go
back to you.
Theobald
so we're
won't stand a
rolling
chance.
again.
You can roll a accounting or a math or an intelligence to try to suss out the code.
Accounting, math.
Or intelligence.
Where's math?
Math would be under science. It would say science, open parentheses, math, close parentheses. So it would be a special skill that not all
So
characters.
intelligence it is. Regular success.
Regular success. Yeah. So there are. So the codes are nicknames of either the people or the service provided and payment. So for example, 15 CE is so she was paid $15. And CE is a it says firecracker. It's kind of what you decode. LK is showing meetings at Lonesome Kate's and or payments to Lonesome Kate's. You also note that usually the notebook and the ledger usually match up, right? So usually it's like, oh, the notebook has a meeting on this day. The ledger then records a payment that corresponds with that. The recent meeting on December 2nd, so it'd be last night, has no payment associated with it, which makes sense because you shouldn't get there, it looks like. And the second one is from 2 weeks ago. That doesn't have a corresponding ledger entry that's recent. But it's also with the same person, who is Malone. So yeah. To Luther and Mercedes. Theobald is just going by Theobald. You don't even need to roll. Your characters would know part of why he's being cagey is they're probably not married, and you finding him here alone is technically a crime.
I was about to be like, oh, it's okay. We have doctor-patient confidentiality, but I imagine that doesn't exist yet. Sorry, something stuck in my memory. Can you tell me about the red book thing again? There was a red book, and then you gave the 15 CE.
Red
thing.
books. It was red books, 15
Okay.
CE. So it was. She was selling firecrackers for $15 at Red Books.
Okay. All right. Never mind then.
Or crackers? Sorry? Oh, okay, thanks. And is Red Books another tavern or like drinking place?
Our reporter, Massima, would know. Doesn't even have to roll. Knows Red Books is a bookstore of questionable repute due to its political leanings.
It's where the best books are.
It's where a lot of union organizers are going. Yep, it's Marxism. Union organizers go there, anarchists.
Oh, okay, got it. It took me a minute. Okay.
And Massima can actually also make a fast talk roll to represent past dealings with the owner.
I have a 5 in that. Let's go.
I mean, you could also do persuasion. I'll give you a persuasion.
I have a 10 in that.
You have no social skills.
No, which is weird.
That's very
Um,
weird for a
Yeah,
reporter.
I'm doing better than you on both stats, and I led with, "Hey, this person's dead."
All right. I mean, you can make the roll.
Can I support her by trying to sort of charm?
Wow,
This
I rolled
guy.
really poorly.
This is retroactive. This is represent a past conversation.
Oh, I get it.
I rolled a 97.
Run by a guy named David Popov. You don't think you've ever seen him sober. Mercedes and Luther. We're gonna go do Theobald. So yeah, he's
Shaking.
he's shaken. He's clutching to his pipe almost for dear life. Have you told him you're investigating, or have you just been like,
Yeah,
she's
that's what I was
dead, we
about to
showed
do.
up?
I say, I am so sorry to have to break this news to you in this way, but we are here, deputies of the police force, to try to get to the bottom of what happened to your charming friend. And if you have just any ideas, if somebody might have had any negative associations with her, that we can track it down and make sure that they see the right side of the law.
You can roll me any social check. Persuasion, fast talk, intimidate.
Let's see.
You've kind of said for him some of the magic words, so I'm making it nice and easy.
Persuasion is a 10. Fast talk is a 5. Can I do charm? That's my best one. I've got a 15 for charm.
For Elizabeth, where are your skills at?
I have a
Mercedes?
70 in charm.
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
my
good at
charm is not as good as
appraising?
I'm making. Oh, my intimidate's 15. I can intimidate him.
Oh, yeah. My is intimidate. No, that's intelligence.
It doesn't matter. I cannot roll low, apparently. I'm just going to continue to fail tonight. It's a 96, so it's a hard
Yeah.
pass.
You're pulling a Greg.
I know. I know.
Aw.
So
He's
he
not even
doesn't-
here to defend himself. He got cut.
We're sorry, Greg.
He doesn't spill everything.
Calling him out for the fallen.
But he's just kind of like she was involved in dangerous work, and she had a number of people who'd be her enemies. I wouldn't know. I don't.
Would you,
I'm not
Would you
that.
mind if we just take a look around and see if we can find any clues as to who we should target next in our investigation? You're
Of course, help
clearly just
yourself.
Too distraught.
Is not
Wonderful.
my home.
He makes
Well,
that
we're
very
glad
clear.
that you're taking care. Glad you're taking good care of it.
Lisbeth will help with surveying the scene because she is also very aware of the wealth of that table desk that was described and is very curious to see what else is in this place.
Okay. You.
Massimo. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, roll me a spot hidden.
A what?
Am I rolling? Or are you
Spot
rolling?
hidden.
Are we both rolling?
That was for Lisbeth.
Because you're checking out the desk, right?
Yeah.
No, we're looking at the
Oh,
rest of the
okay.
department.
Oh, rest of the
I
department.
was looking at the rest of the apartment.
Ooh, I rolled
Oh,
a
sweet.
4.
Yeah.
Yay!
Extreme hard. I 0, 0, and a 4.
Lisbeth, Marcus, and Mercedes basically set about casing the rest of the joint. The bookshelf is hard to make heads or tails of because a decent amount of it is in German. It looks, however, as though that of which is not German is textbooks and scientific periodicals, mostly on engineering and chemistry. She's got a gramophone, which is a big deal. She's got a decent record collection, all of it German. her kitchen is stocked with some pretty high-end German wines.
But she's living on the 4th floor.
Yep.
In like
I mean,
the
I'm a
crappy
criminal.
part of town.
Can I
Yep.
look for secret like floorboards that like should be lifted up, or where
Uh,
criminals would keep stuff in their apartments? I mean, I
I'll be
have
right
a feeling
back.
this person's obviously a Marxist spy, so like.
so you are able to confirm that there is none of that here. She is not storing whatever her criminal activity is at this
Interesting.
location.
Interesting.
Based upon what you've seen and $15 for a firecracker, and everything else you found, you're able to deduce she is very likely a bomb maker. So you wouldn't want to store that at your house. It also explains the multi-tool. It explains all the criminal connections.
I was thinking about lighting up one of these cigarettes, but maybe I won't now.
Well, you're able to confirm none of that's here.
I missed something very important, apparently. What is the explanation for the multi-tool?
She's using it to make bombs, you know,
She's a bomb
So-
maker.
in your 4th floor wooden apartment.
She is not making them at this location. You've confirmed she is not making them here. She
There's
does her
like a-
accounting.
I think you're just trying to throw us off the trail.
I
The
assure
neighbors
you.
won't mind. It'll be all right. What are they doing up there? Making bombs? Probably.
Is there anything that those of us that have lived in Europe would know about this, considering it's between World War I and World War II, and so the whole like German bomb thing is something we have experienced?
Yeah, she was probably based upon that and the codes and stuff, she was probably a German agent who was sent here, and she doesn't like the new government in Germany, so she went freelance.
Good for her.
And she's mailing, that's why she's mailing the London embassy
Mm.
instead of anything in Germany, because she probably have a contact there who is more of a bureaucrat and less of a politician.
Are there I want to take a look at the bookcase. Are there any books that appear more used?
It's all pretty decently used. It looks like
Hmm.
it is largely, if it's German, it looks like it is fiction.
Okay.
And then the rest is chemistry and engineering, which is her staying up on her craft.
Okay.
You're able to note that like these aren't the kind of books that you just go to the corner bookstore for. Like you'd have to know who to talk to get a lot of these, because these would be the kind of
Hmm.
things that like an engineering firm would buy. Not even like an engineering student, like a firm would have this in their local like in their in-house library.
Is it the kind of books and things that Red Books might have access to?
He'd certainly know who to talk to for him.
All right.
And are any of these books possibly like, is this a bookcase wall? Is there any possibility of like,
A secret door.
You have
By
you
golly,
have,
I'll find a secret door by the
you've
end of this
shaken
game.
all of the clues out of this location.
I turn Theodore upside down and shake his spine.
Yeah. Ugh.
Where's the secret door? Okay, well, we should probably go somewhere new now.
Let's go to Red Books.
Lonesome Kane said red books.
That's my vote.
Red
Where-
Books sounds
well-
good to me.
Sure. I was also thinking, like, I still want to know what these other two murders that appear to be very simple people, like, what their secret, nefarious, wild lives are. But I think we'll probably get there one way or another. So
Yeah. I mean, clues. Little Red Bookstore is the actual name of it. When you find it,
Oh.
is with a bright
Oh, that's cute.
awning. And all of the shelves that are outside, because it's really common in this area, just store your books outside. It's fine. Are just
Elizabeth
all
is
they're all
horrified.
red,
horrified at that. Just
I mean,
keep
all
going.
the
but-
books, all the
Oh.
books outside are pulp.
Oh,
And that's why we don't have it. That's why none of those survive. You're able to head inside. It's a bibliophile's dream, and it's a mess. There is a great big table up near the front, where a heavy-set bear of a man with a bright red nose is sitting there, who is obvious, like he's not even hiding that he's already started drinking vodka for the day. And as you all kind of head on in, he just kind of growls up from his book.
Do I know him?
You've
Do we know
talked to
each
him
other?
before.
Okay.
Yeah. You're not great friends.
I make eye contact with him and just be like, hey.
He gives you a nod.
I'm just looking over my skills here.
Yeah, don't worry. I have a lot of charm and intimidation, and I've been in a lot of bookstores. I spend a lot of time in the library, so I'm standing right behind you, Masumia. Don't worry. He's not gonna
Perfect.
mess with you. You're safe.
You can just do. I mean, Marcus is probably the only person bigger than him, so you can just roll and intimidate.
Oh
just
yeah,
to kind
okay.
of stand there and look fearsome.
Oh, yeah, totally.
That's good because my intimidate is 15.
yeah.
All right, let's see. I think mine's okay. So it says 15%, but my number is 60. So
Yeah,
here I
that
go.
60 means it's up to that. Yeah.
Okay, so I rolled the percent first, and it's 85, and now I add the little one to it. Is that right?
Oh, it looks like
No,
did
you already
it
rolled
for you.
85. So
Okay, so I did too high. Sorry.
you do get one reroll because you've kind of
Okay.
all come in as a posse. If you mention you've been deputized, you get a reroll for that.
Okay, so do you want to mention it? Do I? Massimo, are you
say
gonna say it or? Okay.
Yes, but I want to phrase it in the way that like this gives us an in.
Got it. All right, my reroll was still high. It was 67.
All right.
Sorry. Sorry, guys.
We're doing we're just too good.
He's looking, he's a lot of people in his place. He's looking a little bit cagey.
I want to try and sweet talk him with some charms.
Sure.
What book is he reading?
What is he reading? It's in Cyrillic.
Cool.
Huh.
I rolled 23.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's
My
So I
charm says my charm is 70, 35, 14. So would that be a hard?
hard, yeah. So you
I wanna like be like, oh no, like this is just like the muscle. He doesn't know what he's doing. You can just ignore him.
okay. Is your tact more of I have been deputized, but that doesn't mean I need to look at you? Or is your tact more of I have been deputized and I'm gonna start looking into you?
The first one. I feel like I want to be in good I want to have a good working relationship with him because he gets good stuff.
So he closes his book. He leans down, he pulls out a ledger. And he goes, what are you looking for? Badges are not good for business.
I don't actually know what we're looking for. Out of character.
So you know that you have a German woman who is selling bombs out of this location.
Mhm.
You have that she's been meeting with people, You can ask him about the other two people, the other two deceased.
Mm-hmm.
You could ask him about Corinna. Let me say what I'm forgetting. That's the stuff that springs to mind.
I would like to ask him about the people who have been like frequenting here and if there's any overlap with that and oh God, I can't remember her name. The German woman.
Corinna?
Yes, Corna. Like who has she been meeting with?
He just kind of laughs. He laughs at that. It's a great big belly laugh. And he's kind of like, who doesn't she meet with? I basically I need something more specific.
All right. How about
it's
the dates were December 2nd and December 3rd?
December 3rd, she had no meeting here.
Okay.
On the 2nd, she had no meetings here on either of those days. She was at, I think, Kate's, and she said she met with a man named Malone.
Okay.
He's not from our circles, so it was odd. Apparently he brought his wife to the first meeting.
That is odd. Very odd.
Not very professional.
Who is Malone?
Part of some. You can see that he's kind of like he's trying to figure out the right word in English, and he goes, "Not terrorist, some group for a free Ireland doesn't get on with the other Irish groups."
So perhaps of a different religion or a Protestant Irish version?
No. Spouting off the Malones, they came in with they came in here before with Orion and some others, and not Christian, into some old-timey fairy tales about saving the British Isles from invaders.
Oh, how interesting. And did you help them with their literature research, or did they meet here to discuss their religious interests?
We don't have religious talk in here, but they asked for books. I secured some books, made a good profit.
Would
Which books did you get them?
Truth in Hibernia, the Slough, and the Druidic Cycle.
And
would
this
I be
is
able to make
for-
any sense of that with like, I don't know, like in connection with like the British Isles piece with like would that be like history or?
Yeah. So there are 3 books there.
Okay.
Which one are you rolling against?
Can you refresh me on the names?
Truth in Hibernia. We don't need to roll. Hibernia is another name for Ireland.
Okay.
Like the island, not the people.
Okay.
Or not like the island, not the people or the political entity. The Slough, which is Sluagh.
Do I know what that means? Or is it just like gibberish to me?
I mean,
Wonderful.
it's Old Gaelic.
Okay.
What
All
does
right.
it mean?
What does it mean? All right.
It's Old Gaelic.
Okay.
People who are from London can make luck rolls on it.
With
Luck rolls.
with the fact that Lisbeth is an antique dealer, so would it be and is living in London, she probably would have come across this. So would it just be a luck roll or would it be something else?
So I'm going to do a luck roll to just know what the word means offhand, and I'm only let you roll something else to also know about your specific experience in London. But
Luck is over there. Got it.
it's like a big thing near hit points, and
Okay. Oh, nice. Yeah, I made it.
so the Sloa means the horde in
Mhm.
old Gaelic.
Mm.
And it is another name for the Irish version of the Wild Hunt, which is a bunch of ghosts who ride through the sky and punish people.
Hmm.
Do they ride up that on horseback?
On horses.
Do they have sharp knives?
So in the Irish myth, no, they are just ghost people. The Wild Hunt occurs in Ireland, Wales, England, Germany, and amongst the Vikings, and they are all different descriptions.
Cool.
So Germany is more of the one that's like, hey, they got like horses and they ride through the sky on those. And England kind of has that. And then the Nordic countries are a little bit of like, or maybe they have a boat.
You said the German one does have the horses on it, though?
Yes.
Do any of them have knives or other sharp, clean?
All of them but the ghosts are usually soldier types, whether they are like Vikings or knights or other cavalry from like pre-knight eras. But yeah, we can make some
So our deceased German person was a member of this circle of folks that includes
No.
Malcolm, and I'm confused about where are they overlapping.
Corinna was the Malones met with her multiple times to try to hire her.
Oh, okay.
And she did not do any work for them.
And these were the books that the people who wanted to hire her had purchased.
Yes. Elizabeth doesn't need to roll, but knows that the Sloa and the Druidic Cycle are rare and expensive books. The Druidic Cycle in particular is what's Lisbeth's credit rating? So credit rating is an abstracted thing of like
what's your credit score?
Rich and how like
That's super personal.
It was an awkward time to find that this is sponsored by Discover.
She is apparently 30.
30.
For credit. I'm not sure if that's a good number or a not so good number in the 1920s.
Lower middle class.
Excuse you.
I'm not. It is an era that is very socially stratified. I'm not saying it's good. I'm simply saying that you probably haven't. I mean, thousands of dollars would be the value of that book.
Oh.
In 1920s money.
Okay.
So I can't buy it, but can I borrow it?
He doesn't have a copy.
Oh.
So they just have a lot of money. So it's like old Boston Irish money.
So what he did is he does not stock any of that kind of book normally. However, he is able to talk to people who are able to secure books through less than legal means.
Oh, would I know any of these people? I don't know what kind of criminal work I do exactly.
Let me double
If this is
check
a
in your
back
character
channel- if
sheet.
This is a back channel thing.
And while you're checking
Oh,
her,
you are more of a second story and
Yeah, okay.
you're like a more of a pickpocket, break and enter. So yeah, you can roll me a luck roll to see if you knew any of these people.
Okay. Hey, I got one, y'all.
Yay!
So you know a number of people who,
Okay.
do breaking and entering work. And you also know that stealing books is a pain because it's almost never worth it.
Mhm.
send them the book.
Because from a crime perspective, you need to be able to sell it to someone, and that is so hard to do if someone's on after the book already. And then with a rare book, like you're trying to steal something that's very hot and very easy to identify. So almost no one deals in them.
It's like stealing a famous painting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's exactly the same thing, right? Of like, what are you going to do with it?
But
So-
so much higher
that's what I would-
caliber criminal than me. So I'm like,
Actually,
Grunge
no, it wouldn't be a higher caliber criminal. It'd be most likely, it'd be a desperate academic or librarian.
oh,
So an antique dealer.
I mean, it would be someone robbing a library or museum because they work there.
Got it.
Which is how most of the book trade in illegal books in the 1920s happens. Is it's usually like people are just taking it out of the university library.
interesting.
I've
Learning
never
so
done that
much.
ever.
Okay. Well, our other. Yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking about if we have any other sort of like. Any
What
of the other
can,
teams are higher end. The reporter might be, but
High end what?
well, if there's a circle of people who are procuring old, very valuable, so we're talking old money, so they've got to be high up in the socio-political structure somewhere to have that kind of funds.
No, because from Popov, and he points out, no one in the establishment likes them because they are not Christian. They are decidedly anti-Christian. So
There's an Irish circle, but nobody wants to talk to them or have anything to do with them because they are very clearly not Christian.
Yes.
Okay, so they stick out a bit, even though they have all this money. Okay, we should just go around knocking on doors and saying, "Where are the devil worshippers?" But with an Irish brogue, perhaps. I feel like this shouldn't be that hard to find, since it's such a tight-knit community. Maybe if we go to Kate's, we can just ask who doesn't fit in.
Yeah, you have Kate's. You have the Clan Nagale, where Michael Sear had the meeting.
Yeah,
Because that'd be a political group, an activism group. Yeah.
Well, we've heard information about Malone multiple times, so that would be my vote.
try and investigate the Malones. Yeah, I definitely want to follow that thread. The question is, where do we find them? I was wondering if going to Lonesome Kate's would get us closer to them.
Right.
Unless there's somewhere else that you think we should go.
I'm wondering if we should actually go to this Clan Miguel place because this person had their card with her which means that she would work with them and she wouldn't work with the Malones. And this is one of the Irish groups that is opposed to them. And so they might actually be more likely, like if you have opposition, you're a lot more likely to like.
There were too many pronouns, so I wasn't able to follow who's against who.
Yeah. Sorry.
It was the reporter who had the note about clan, etc. in his pocket.
Oh, never mind. I thought it was the German lady. Never mind.
No, the reporter from the second crime scene.
Clan Gael is a non-violent Catholic political organization that advocates for a peaceful path to independence for Ireland. So they believe in independent Ireland, but they say like no fighting for it. We're gonna work within the system and work our way out. We'll vote our way independent. Versus other Irish groups who are like, by violence, or like, no, stay with Britain.
So if there's a peaceful Irish group and we have 3 homicides of mostly Irish people, could somebody be trying to make it so the peaceful option doesn't work because murder?
Or the peaceful option is a cover up for a decidedly unpeaceful group.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. It's weird. Like, are they trying to raise power over here to export over there, which would include like raising up a horde of the Wild Hunt? Or
so it's worth noting that the population of Irish outside of Ireland by 1920s is bigger than the population of Irish in Ireland. So a lot of political action happens in North America and to a lesser extent in like Australia, New Zealand, other places where the Irish diaspora is, because they're all sending money and resources back to Ireland.
Right. Okay.
I like the idea of checking out wherever we can find this Malone. And I know one of us had also said they wanted to check out the other bodies and the autopsies.
I think that like mystery solving part of my brain, I want to go after Malone, but in terms of what my character is actually specialized to do, I want to look at the bodies.
I mean, I am very happy to do a little bit of hand wave to just have you make that medicine roll and have it be you pop by and grabbed it. I'll dump the info and y'all can add that to your situation.
All right, medicine roll is.
Come on, Lusa, mix a roll.
Medicine roll is a 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
You know all the things.
Everything, just not.
So, most of it lines up the exact same with Corinna Franz's murder. I'm gonna note differences.
Perfect. That was what I was going to ask.
Not similarities. Like if I similarities, like if I don't say
Right,
it,
it's
assume
most
it's the same. Differences. When you account for the different heights, yeah, the person is doing it for at least like their arm is making the arc at least 4.5 to 5.5 feet off the ground, because you have a little bit of room in there, but like that's high up.
Right. An extremely tall person or someone on a horse.
Yeah.
Pyramid head.
Yep. And with a lot of force. 1 cut each time. Donaghy was attacked from the front. And was decapitated in that direction.
That's the guy in the backyard.
Yes, that is suspected because the backyard would have been pitch black. Because there's no streetlights or anything.
Ooh, it's spooky.
Michael St. Cyr had more defensive wounds than the other two. Oh, I'm forgetting a little factoid. I just gotta pull it up. Previous. Right. The other part, he actually the decapitation there was post-mortem for Saint Cyr.
Huh.
One of the it looks like a what was meant to be a harassing blow actually killed him. He has dextrocardia. So it looks like whoever was tried to stab him in the lung. And instead got him in the heart. So dextrocardia is your heart, your organs are all
Interesting.
There was also two more things. One, there are a series of strange animal prints found under the body.
Animal prints?
They look like goat prints, but
Goat.
More like goats than horses.
Like a goat or a moose or something.
Giant goats.
Or a stag. There could be deer involved. It is the Irish hunt, after all.
Deer's I think they're split a little bit different. I don't remember.
They're
a lot
cloven.
Possibly deer. Yeah, but they're cloven in a little bit different way than a goat or a.
How many moose are in New York City?
There's a couple at the zoo. Finally, there is a small piece of metal that was recovered from his rib. You are able to check out evidence for part of your investigation. It's about 2 inches long. It's a blackish pitted metal. It's not steel or anything like that. And then from the stab, you're able to determine that this is not like a thick blade. This is maybe 2 inches wide, closer to 1.5 inches.
So it's thin and very sharp.
And it looks like part of the point of one or whatever this weapon is, it broke off in his rib.
So Michael St. Cyr seems like he would have had information that this group wanted, or they would have just cut him down the way they did the other two. There's this one was actually attacked and attempted to be
Subdued.
stabbed.
That stab was from behind. He was running.
Oh, really?
When they got him in the lung, it's when he was running.
So they were trying to stop him.
Yeah, they're trying to stop him and accidentally killed him.
Oops.
But the others had their heads chopped off, no stabbings.
The others both had slashes and some stuffed defensive wounds and things along the arms, usually.
It's also something I'm curious about is why the first one? Yes, this is a series. There's a pattern. We have to follow the pattern. But what started it? Why was the first person killed?
Donaghy is a comptroller in Revere, and he is Irish, but
What is a comptroller?
It is a lesser political position. Usually, it's elected, but it's usually about the specific appropriation of funds and lesser appointed positions. So it's a lot of like, hey, I'm figuring out I'm helping the police department figure out who gets what specific roles underneath like the chief in like the civilian oversight. He is a reformer. He's a Republican reformer of the era, which means he is anti-political machine. And he is anti-Tammany Hall, and he is anti the Boston political machine.
Another anti-government group.
He's in the government. He is anti-corruption.
So he's probably gunning for the mayor.
Yeah, and he's also a Clan de Gale supporter.
Hmm. Hmm.
So shall we check out this clan?
I mean, I'm thinking that bare minimum, if this is like a radical group, like a radical Irish group, they would be potentially recruiting from the other Irish groups, right? So maybe we just like ask if anybody's been coming around trying to get them to join up with this non-Christian.
Yeah. So the Clan office is a pretty. I mean, it's an office, right? It's a pretty noisy affair filled with typewriters and writing, as people are creating flyers and organizing things. A lot of
I
elections.
feel right at home.
Yep, a lot of elections of the era are won by like, so 15 people. You think you can get them to vote for our candidate? Awesome. You're in charge of making sure your neighbors vote. Because there's no phones or anything. So you're able to meet with Alice Mcdermott, who is actually in charge of the Boston chapter. She is a shorter, modern woman. In terms of like how she's dressing, she is very much in charge of this establishment. And she goes, "Yeah, I are you here to make a donation, or what can I help you with?"
I feel like Massima, I feel like you're the reporter from Boston.
All
Like,
right.
Do you wanna take lead
I
on
am
this?
I am the reporter from Boston. All right. Have you had anyone coming around looking for some members for their organizations? I flash her
Every-
little deputy badge.
I mean, almost every day between all the different Irish groups, say nothing of the Democrats and the Republicans, both trying to subsume various political action groups.
Can I
You're gonna have to be a
can I-
little more specific to say like union agitators.
Anything like more unusual? Anything that would strike you as, well, that's not a group that I even knew was around these parts or even existed.
Oh, is this about the con artists?
Con
Yes.
artists?
Yeah,
Yes.
there's some group from out by Marlborough. They came and they did a bit of they made meetings with a bunch of different groups. They had their little presentation because they were trying to raise funds and stuff to buy some book. They were talking about
Oh,
being able to raise an army using fairy tales and stuff, and they did some little sleight of hand stuff to try to convince the more easily impressionable, but we sent them packing. It's we don't have time for that kind of thing.
say it, but I'm afraid that they are behind some very gruesome murders in Boston, if you have been hearing in the news. And
What?
so it is important that we get any information on this group that we can.
Yeah, we only had them for the one they called it a lecture series, but I think that's giving it too much credit.
Do you know who was in charge of this group or where we might find them?
Eileen O'Ryan seems to be the ringleader of that little organization. There's about half a dozen of them.
Do they have a name for themselves?
They called themselves the New Ancient Order.
Catchy.
Okay.
But near as we can tell, they gave us an address for some farm out by Marlborough to send their mail to.
What's that address?
She gives you an address for outside of Marlborough at a farm.
Creepy.
Excellent.
Nothing good happens on a farm in Marlborough. No, I'm just kidding.
This is totally safe.
Yeah, because town is fine. Just
What could go
occasional
wrong?
decapitations.
Yeah, is it the same farm where the guy was killed?
No, he was actually not as
That was Revere.
He was Revere, and it used to be a farm, but the city grew up around it. So it was an old farmhouse at like the edge of town. Marlborough is like another hour plus. Oh, I can't remember how exactly far it is.
Yeah.
It's further in Massachusetts, and it's next to a swamp, and used to be coal mine country.
Is there a coal chute involved? I'm kidding. I hope I'm not bringing up anything too personal, but Michael St. Cyr, is that a name that you are familiar with?
The reporter, he's been around a few times.
Was he asking similar questions or others?
No, he had his sights out for Curly recently. He seemed to have some idea that was gonna help break the stranglehold that his machine has.
Oh, that does sound interesting.
Did he say what this idea was?
No. Reporters don't tend to. If you were to give us,
are you about to say something offensive, sir?
No.
I think you'd be careful
First of all,
about your
ma'am.
generalizations.
Ma'am.
No, if reporters are giving us information, we're probably gonna act on it before they're able to publish. If they have blackmail information on a politician, why would I let them use it?
Absolutely. Well, Aline Orion sounds like at the very least, conning honest people out of their money and their loyalties. If this is a woman that we can find to talk to, I think that would be best.
You're more than welcome to help yourself. I don't know what else I can aid you with on this.
Anyone else?
Does the name Monroe mean anything to you?
Malone?
Malone, sorry.
Maybe he could be. I think him and his wife were members of that little group with Orion.
Can you tell us anything about Lonesome Kate's?
Oh, I would never go to an establishment such as that, as much as our own judges and mayor may attend such an establishment. I would never dream of setting foot in the kind of place that would be, frankly, illegal under the Volstead Act to go to.
Does she sound preachy, or does she sound just straight up? This is her. She's like.
She is
lying.
Yeah, she probably doesn't go there.
Okay.
But she is saying this because this is the politic thing to say. She probably can't get in. Because Clan Nagale is, broadly speaking, they don't like the political machines, because the political machines are all about making money. Clan Nagale actually wants to do something.
Got it.
So they don't get along well with either political party.
So we can go to Lonesome Kate's, or this. Now the farm address is the address where Eileen is at, or is the farm address separate?
The farm address is the address Eileen gave for.
Oh, Eileen gave for the mail. Right.
For mail and donations to be
and
sent.
Donations. Have any mail or donations been sent there?
Not from Clan Nagale. They haven't been giving it out to people. He was like, "Oh, you should tell all your people," and she was like, "No." Gabriel, you could ask about the new agent order at Kate's.
So that I think is probably a good stop if we go back to Kate's, or not back to, but we make a trip there before we head out to the farm.
Yeah, I agree.
Since it's so far away, that makes sense.
Yeah, Lonesome Kate's is a high-end jazz club. You go there by the mid-afternoon, so it's not going for the day yet. It's quite large, and probably a better time for you to make your way there. You're able to meet with Kate Sanders, who is a handsome blonde woman who inherited the place from her husband when he died. And she's since then runs the place better than he did. And she regularly acts as kind of a moving host during the evening. She goes, what can I help you with? Our detective friend said you might be coming by.
Ask about the what were they described as, the not conmen.
No, they were described as
Con
conmen.
artists.
Con artists.
Okay. Yeah, the con artist, and specifically we have a name for one.
Malone or Orion?
I'm sorry, I missed some of it, so you couldn't
Orion runs it. Malone's the one that was taking the meetings.
Okay. Well, actually ask about either of them.
Well, Malone met with poor Corinna a few times. Yeah, we had to break it up because they couldn't come to terms. He became quite agitated, and we actually ejected him a couple nights ago.
Malone, I'm sorry, I missed the name. Malone was having a hard time with whom?
Corinna, Miss Franz.
The German woman.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And agitated how? Agitated like drunk? Agitated like acting violent?
Definitely making threats.
Okay.
We wouldn't let him come to violence like that in our establishment, but
Of course.
Do we know anything about where these people might spend other parts of their day? Places they frequent, anything like that?
they seem to come into town just as needed.
They ever come by with any make any strong connections that you saw here? Any people of note that they spent shared drinks with?
If I hadn't known better, I would have thought they were plumb set on making sure they didn't make any connections here. No one seemed to like them.
So the other side is, do they have enemies other than what we've already talked about?
Nobody liked them, so I guess it's everyone. But the question is, where
Nobody
they
likes and being an enemy are kind of two different shades there.
Violent enemies? I wouldn't know.
Yeah.
I mean, if they were willing to do this to Corinna, that's.
Any rumors that she could pass on?
Rumors. I mean, I know quite a few things. I do know that there was a bit of kerfuffle a while back when Orion tried to make her way here. Apparently, she was kicked out of some academic institution back in the day, but I wouldn't know which one.
An academic institution?
She's kicked out.
Oh, kicked out.
Wait, she?
Eileen Orion?
Yes. How many history check? Like how many universities were admitting women in 1908?
Quite a few.
None.
Not a ton, but I mean, New York City alone, I think, had 4 women-only institutions.
Okay.
Women-only institutions. Okay.
And then a few, I think a few were starting to have men and women together. Usually, I think Harvard had a women's college.
Okay. So that's not like an unusual tidbit of information. Okay, cool. Thank you.
It's abnormal, but it's not like super weird. It's like, oh, okay. So she's educated.
Okay.
So there's a story about her getting kicked out of academic institution. Any follow up on that? What it might have been about?
That's all I know.
Okay, sure, great. How about Curly? Does he come by here often? Does he have a lot of connections here as well?
He does, but he's the mayor. So there's a lot of connections everywhere.
Did he ever seem to meet with these folks at all?
No.
Yeah.
Just to metagame for a moment. I am keeping an
How
eye
does
on.
Curly connect to all this? I'm so frustrated.
He's a thing.
He's
they're all-
everywhere.
yeah, he's an overarching presence of corruption and political graft over the whole thing.
I'm
That's-
thinking our best bet is going to be to track down Eileen.
I have the feeling if we go out to a farmhouse, we may not be coming back.
We've got our muscle.
Adventure and excitement and knowledge.
Yeah.
Do we have enough to do anything?
We have
Gotta
enough to
go
go
for it.
there.
Like, assuming that these things are all connected, the only connection that is missing is the one between the New Ancient Order and the mayor. And it seems more likely that we would get that information from the New Ancient Order than we would from trying to just storm into the mayor's office.
If they are doing some sort of rite where they are raising the dead to ride through the streets and decapitate people, I feel like we need to know something about how to disrupt the circle, so to speak. We
I'm good
don't
with
know
a
anything
gun.
about how this works.
You mean like a silver weapon?
Yeah.
Or I don't know if it's, maybe we should try and get a book that says, and if you want to interrupt the rites, here's what you do. Maybe we should go to the academic institution. I don't know.
I mean,
Or
you
would-
know,
I just nab things. I'm not the thinker.
Or would Lisbeth have any antiques in her knowledge that would interrupt demonic type circles?
you'd have to go check it out and be able to determine from there. Because you don't want to. You don't know. Maybe.
We have to see the
Yeah.
the magic or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Let's go to the farm. Why not?
All right.
Okay.
Let's go
So
by
yeah.
the farm.
you're taking a vehicle out there. Who's driving? I'm just gonna say you can have a vehicle, but who's driving?
Is that a skill? Oh, I've got
Yeah.
a 40 and
Drive
drive
auto is a skill.
That seems pretty good. Mine's a 20.
Mine's a
We
20.
have a VW Beetle and half of an
Airstream.
Airstream.
Anyone higher than a 40?
Yeah, I've got a 35.
40 it is.
Guess I'm driving. Do
Um,
I need to roll?
no,
Okay.
not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
I heard that one in there.
That's
You make your
better.
way out to Marlboro. You're heading. It goes from pavement to dirt road, and you then see it as you crest over a hill. It is a sheep farm,
Oh,
and you can tell in part by the fact that there is a appears to be a newer processing building on site. So processing can be like being spun. You spin wool, but on like a more factory level.
Do I still have the shard with me?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
sick.
As you start driving up to it, you're all gonna make a sanity roll for me, please.
Oh,
Yeah.
That didn't
Finally.
take long.
Yeah, now we're talking.
thanks. Okay.
Man.
So we're still trying to get under our sanity score.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Did not get there. 92.
Glorious.
Hey, I got a 92 as well.
Weird.
15.
I'd ask what the odds of that were, but that's actually pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Right?
I got a
Failures.
54.
Failures. Failures lose 5. Successes lose 1. So you mark down
Ooh.
your sanity, and it
Oh.
as what pulls up alongside the car at the same speed is a chitinous hunched over creature
Cool.
Say cool or cool?
I said cool.
Cool. Riding on what appears to be the back of a six-legged it's almost like a squid and a camel had a baby.
Gross.
And it reaches out with the chitinous thing, reaches out with an arm and slashes at the vehicle.
You
Uh,
duck?
yeah, like,
Lisbeth, you're gonna make
Can
a
I
drive.
shoot it?
Lisbeth, you're gonna make a drive.
Huh? What?
Lisbeth, you're gonna make a drive.
Oh,
Right.
now you have to roll?
now you got to roll to not crash.
No. I rolled a 53.
It's
And
true.
I'm a-
Aw,
I'm
so
a
close.
40. Wait, you say drive or dodge? My dodge is 65.
If you're dodging, everyone else is in trouble.
She like falls out of the car and does a roll.
Yeah. Car goes screaming off the road into the field.
So
It's like, immediate betrayal.
Yes, exactly.
I'll
I'm gonna shoot
I'll
someone
stay
on
with
it
the
was
crow.
betrayal.
I'll stay with the crow. I just failed to drive.
Tips on its side. And everyone
Oh.
inside is brutally banged up and hurt.
Cool.
As another of the creatures joins the first one, and they are circling your auto. Everyone is going to take 4 damage from the
Hit
car
points.
Sorry.
being real messed up. And then you see an older woman. Looks like she's 70s. Iron gray hair and a heavy white fur coat. Steps out of the fog.
Can I shoot her?
Sure.
Great.
Roll firearms pistol.
I hit her.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Oh no, wait, I hit it if I used a shotgun or a rifle. I did not. I got a 21. My handgun is a 20.
You
So
miss.
my rifle's a 25. So
Yeah, but you're not aiming a rifle out of the bent over car. You shoot and it goes wide. And she looks pretty unfazed by it, and she goes, "You gotta wonder what you're all doing out here by my house."
nice sheep.
Well,
What are you doing with all this? Gestures
less
wildly.
sheep and more shepherds. Guiding the way to the better world.
Okay, is nobody going to talk
Was
about
this
the
6
the
legs
thing of the
good,
text?
4 legs bad? Like what is the better world here?
We can talk philosophy if you want.
Can we?
Sure. I'm in favor of Ireland for the Irish people and getting rid of every Anglo-Saxon or German or Roman that's ever polluted those shores. And I've brought back some of the first people to do it.
What are the names of these first people?
She says something in a language you don't understand.
What do you
Nice.
call these creatures?
Can I
She's-
try and
Flanking
sneak
the
behind her?
car.
Yeah, you can roll a stealth. She says more things in very old Celtic.
That is a super duper success. I rolled a
Okay.
2.
Nice.
Ooh.
Great. I'd like to Garrett her. If I may.
Character. Okay. Yeah. Roll me. I believe it's a fighting brawl.
It's fighting Garrett.
Oh, you have that. Then you have that. That's even better.
This is
Yeah,
very
and-
confusing because that is my last name is Garrett.
Oh, sorry.
I'm gonna like call a Garrett.
It's
It's like I'm
Garrot,
gonna
isn't it?
call it Garrett. And it's like, what is
Oh,
that?
sorry, I'm mispronouncing it. I only ever read it. I never say it. I
Garrot.
garrot her.
Right.
It is
Yep.
a success.
The success. Jeez. I don't think I've seen a garrote used in Call of Cthulhu. Ever.
It's on my sheet. I was very excited about it.
No, I'm not saying this is a problem. I'm saying I gotta double check how that works.
I have a toy.
Everything in Call of
Yay.
Cthulhu is so squiddy. Trying to strangle it or something doesn't really
Well,
make a lot
that's
of
why I'm going
sense.
for her. I know. I
Right.
thought about the
Yeah.
tentacle thing, but I'm like, which tentacle? You know.
So she has to make this roll. And she doesn't, because it turns out old ladies are not great at overpowering people. In general, not always, but in general.
It turns out a
Really?
70-year-old Celtic sorceress is just as susceptible to garrote wire as the rest of us.
That's what I found. And if that's not an aphorism, if I have not said that a million times, I just don't even know.
All right. You are in the process of garroting her.
Hmm.
Nice.
The rest of y'all, the riders now see this and are gonna go deal with Mercedes if people don't do anything.
I guess I'd throw my medical degree at it. Do I
Can
have
I
that?
can I shoot one? Apparently I have a gun too.
Sure.
The sawed-off shotgun.
No, it's a regular gun. Handgun.
Oh.
Handgun's better.
Give it a gun.
That's better. Okay.
Ooh, I miss. 57.
So Lisbeth is gonna take Massima's handgun because she's otherwise unarmed, but has a nice 50-50 chance with the handgun and is gonna try to shoot it.
Okay, I'll allow it. Just wrestle it away from Massive after she misses.
Ooh, 36, which is a success, but not a hard one. Just a success.
Roll.
Oh, I think that I'm misreading my character sheet. I don't actually have a weapon.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm a big fat liar, but I like the role play.
I'm on board
Oh,
with it.
I
I'm gonna let
wasn't
it
even
happen.
looking at. I wasn't even looking under weapons either. Mine says.
I was
unarmed.
just
I
gonna assume if you, I wasn't. I'm not
I'm
gonna.
so sorry.
Okay.
I haven't been looking below the
Oh, good.
investigator skills.
No,
I should
if
have
I
looked
had a
down.
problem with it, I would have said something. If you were like,
Cool.
"Well, I pull out my Tommy gun," I'd be like, "No." I assume
It says I'm
like,
it says
all right,
I'm
sounds
unarmed,
good.
but I can figure I actually
grab
do have the
pistols at some
wire.
point.
I'm going to whip lit dynamite out. And
Yeah, right.
I have a confetti
Rocket launcher.
cannon. Is that cool?
Roll me 2d6.
2d6.
I love
Who's
the
big?
noise of them dice.
8 points of damage.
Yeah, suck it, old lady.
Ooh.
This is not the old lady.
Oh.
My understanding was
Tentacle
it was dealing
Yeah.
with the rider. so
That's
right
true.
her
The one
head.
trying to decapitate us. That one.
Sharp metal pointy thing. Get that one.
Sorry,
I can't even shoot the mound in the leg to get it to fall. It has like spares.
Right.
What did you roll on 2d6 again? I missed that.
An 8 total.
Your doctor, where's its heart?
6 initiative.
All right.
I am not sure I has one.
The
We did
bullet
not cover this in my
bites
school.
deep into the chitin. But it's still going.
Well, shit.
Marcus, Luther, Gabriel.
I can make an unarmed attack.
That's an option. I mean, Marcus is like a bodybuilder.
Yeah, I can use some physical feat there. I thought I had a weapon too, but I was wrong.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just willing to say you all picked up pistols. I'm not gonna.
Okay.
Otherwise, is there a gas can in the car? You can make a Molotov, or
I will let you roll a luck roll for that.
That is
We
a
did
great
we
question.
did go by the bomb maker's apartment.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
I know she wasn't
28.
storing anything
under
there.
my
Maybe
law.
she had like a little one in the bedside table or something.
Little bump.
Little emergency Molotov.
Did you make the luck roll?
I have a luck of 35, and I rolled a 28. So yes.
Yes.
Wow, nice.
So you, so there are 2 of the riders heading for Mercedes. Do you want to try? You're gonna be able to throw it, and someone else is gonna have to shoot it for you.
I can
Perfect.
shoot.
So, do you want to try to throw it to get both of them? Do you want to get one real good? And if you want to get one real good, which one?
And we'll go for the wounded one.
You're going to go for the wounded one? Sounds good. Roll
And while
me.
you're doing that, I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah, I'll get you to roll me just a dexterity for the roll. For
That's
the roll for the throw.
dexterity. Okay, so that's a 56. And I have a 55 dexterity.
Oh,
Okay, so it's not as close as you wanted, but I'm willing to say it's pretty close.
Okay.
Marcus?
Okay, so and I'm doing what? Handgun, firearms. So I have to beat a 40.
Yeah.
All right. 42.
Ah,
So close.
so close.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, guys.
Luther?
Just fire your dice app.
I know.
So nobody has actually hit this thing yet.
I did.
Yeah,
Okay.
one of them, it bit
It
through
took,
the chitinous outside and it has like a blacky fluid coming out.
Okay.
Of its shoulder, question mark?
Real quick, just kind of covering my bases here. Describe the weapon that it is wielding again.
It looks like a spear with a long sword-like blade.
oh, okay.
A glaive? Is that what that's called?
So technically, a glaive, I think, needs to have I think it technically needs to have like a bent blade a little bit, whereas this is very much like we took a short sword and we stuck it on the end of a stick. I think it's technically the type of spear.
Spit on it with a little glue and rub it in. Yeah.
It's all
Pretty
good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Um,
gonna try to shoot the mount in the head.
Okay.
I have a question. Can I
Okay.
try and like assist by like, I don't know.
Nope.
Damn
for
it. All
shooting.
right.
Not for shooting.
Not
You've
for
already
shooting.
done your shooting.
Well, all right.
You missed, but you still did it.
I did.
Oh god, let's see. I've got a 25 firearms. This is gonna be rough.
Come on, doctor.
No, didn't get there.
Hey,
49.
The news? No. Ah.
Okay.
Ah,
So normally everyone but Mercedes is going to need to make a sanity roll.
Everyone but Mercedes.
Yeah. Hey, Mercedes, how many hit points do you have?
Oh,
10 left.
10 left? You had 14?
Yeah.
Nice.
beefy.
I'm a fighter, apparently.
Actual 1.
Ooh, nice.
Nice.
Ooh.
Okay, so actual 1, you're going to lose 2 sanity. Anyone who failed is going to lose 7.
Ooh.
Okay.
Mercedes, you're going to lose 0. Don't worry about it. You don't have any sanity. You don't have to worry about sanity at all.
You don't have
anymore.
any sanity left.
You don't have any
Oh,
sanity.
your blood's on the floor.
As
Or I'm in like some sort of weird old lady aura. Maybe it's like the white fur coat is like an anti-sanity.
no, as you all see one of the riders ride up, and it just goes straight through Eileen.
Oh.
Like it takes off
Oh.
Eileen's head and shoulders,
Oh.
and then it takes out Mercedes.
Oh.
Bye. Wait, I have a dodge. Can I not dodge?
You can try dodge.
I have a very high dodge. I
Yeah,
was
you
waiting
gotta
for-
beat a
I was
crazy
waiting for
roll
some-
on my end, so you gotta go
Okay.
for it.
I mean, I have a 49 and my number is a 75, so I succeed, but it's not like wild and crazy.
So I got an extreme success on it to hit. So you had to,
Oh.
you had to get an
It's in
extreme.
Cthulhu special.
It's just. uh,
Ooh.
and yeah, it did a lot of damage. So just.
All right. Well, wah,
Hey.
wah.
and if we saved but didn't have Luther's amazing roll
If we save.
For the sanity.
for the sanity.
7.
7 if we saved.
No, 7. 2 if you saved.
Okay.
Otherwise, 7.
Okay. And we can't, can we do anything to revive Mercedes or interfere, or is she just like
Mercedes' head's
decapitated?
gone.
She's just dead.
She is
Oh,
decapitated.
there's no medicine healing that.
This is my new avatar.
So it looks the two things are running now. Like they're bucking away from these two riders.
Let's go back to the car.
Okay,
The
it's on its
car is like
side.
this.
Yeah.
Let's
Wait,
push the car over.
Okay. Yeah. Are you
So-
gonna try to make a getaway, or are you gonna go after them, or what's the plan?
Run him down.
As
I
my
feel
people like to say, retreat.
Which
I
is
feel like we need to chase after them. Like they just killed our friend.
That is exactly why we should run.
I'm from Brooklyn. We don't run.
Tell me how it turns out.
I'll give you a Boston fist bump.
Yeah.
And yeah, shit. I want to chase after them. Let's flip this car over and go.
I got it. Yeah, I could flip it.
right.
So if you two want to stay behind, you do that. But we're avenging our friend.
Bye.
Luther,
goodbye.
I'm the Lou.
I am going to stay here.
Okay.
All right.
I feel like this is a very in character decision.
Those are after, I'm guessing, Lisbeth's driving again.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. So you want me to roll?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Ooh, good. 28. So
Ooh.
that is
A success.
a success, but not a hard success.
Sounds great. I mean, you're on their trail. Haven't lost them. They book it past the farm, and they're just riding.
I'm from Brooklyn. This pedal is to the metal. If I could like, what do you call it? Like get right up, not bottleneck.
Ram?
No, like when you're like tailgate. There we go. If I could like tailgate them,
Okay.
I am like,
Yeah. I mean, Massima and Marcus, you can start firing.
Pew, patoo, patoo.
Elizabeth, the vehicle is your best weapon.
It's true, it is.
so true. Don't mess with a girl from Brooklyn.
Yeah. Luther just
I
turns to
rolled a
Gabriel.
13,
Yes.
which
Okay.
is a success.
that's
A
a
hard success? Hard success.
Roll me that 2d6 for damage.
Oh, I didn't get D6. Hold on.
Can I roll to
Ta-da.
haunt?
For my
Grabbing the
shoot,
dice bag.
I rolled an 18, but I don't understand.
Ooh.
Let's see. So I did that, but I didn't do. I don't know. That's all I did. Just an 18 for firearm.
You're playing Marcus,
Definitely
right?
succeeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll hit. So you're only 2d6 for damage.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You hit.
Oops.
7.
6. Oh, whoops. 2d6.
Nice.
Yeah, I did the 6 for damage. Where's my
Was that 7 and an 8?
I rolled 7 total.
Yeah. And then Marcus rolled.
6 for the damage?
Yeah. Yeah, haunt them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Invented a whole new mechanic here.
Pookie.
The one of them goes down.
Yeah.
The other one kind of rears back and lashes towards Lisbeth with its spear.
It's gonna make a great story.
You need to roll a drive.
Okay. And also, if we're gonna do this, Elizabeth is totally run over that other thing. So it's like roadkill.
Floppy dice.
Sloppy days. The rules you have to be in the thing. So, oh, that's even worse. 72 fail.
Oh,
I like how most of us are playing Call of Cthulhu, but specifically they are doing this sort of like Mad Max style. Like
I know, it's so cool.
They were.
It's not that anymore.
TMNT Road.
We got to avenge our friend.
Hey, Lisbeth,
Yeah.
take 23 damage.
Oh, you're super dead.
23.
Yeah.
I'm a squishy 12, so I'm
Roll
gonna.
the haunt. Join me in the haunt.
Yeah, roll the haunt.
Yes, but now your driver is dead. So
Can I grab the wheel?
Yeah.
All right.
Wow, this game's great.
I'm the driver now.
Roll a drive to not lose control of the vehicle and get the body out of the way.
Thick. Ooh, no.
Oh
I
my
rolled an 8.
God.
Oh no, I rolled an 8.
Oh,
An 8.
wow.
That's
Okay.
that's a hard success.
Yeah.
Woo.
Even ram the thing with that if you want. Just
Oh yeah.
so ramming.
This isn't how you play Call of Cthulhu, is it?
What? This works.
Little ghosts are like floating around your head, being like, "Go, go!"
This is very pulp Cthulhu. This counts.
Pulp,
How much
pulp Cthulhu.
Ramming with a car. You're gonna do 3d10 damage, please.
3d10. All right.
Oh, that's awesome.
Luther's
That's a
just
D20.
standing next to Gabriel in the
D6.
field and is like,
10.
well, this was a weird day.
Didn't even break my
12.
top 10.
12 points of damage.
On 3d10.
Subpar.
Rough
I know.
roll.
I know.
Oh, that was 3D.
That is enough to get it though, because that was
Yeah.
a hit already. So you do manage to wreck the car and eat
Glorious.
in the process.
That's the important part.
Gotta
Majestic.
get that off your windshield, huh?
So we now go back to Luther and Gabriel. You're able to get the multi-tool.
You want to go investigate the farm and see if we can find that.
Go
book
to
so
the
we can
farm.
Reverse this somehow.
And see that
Like being looted. It's one thing to be to loot and another to be the lootee.
everyone in there is dead already.
Everyone's dead,
whoopsies.
Dave.
Oopsie daisy.
Oh, look at me. I'm going to summon a ghost from the dawn of time to come and help me win my revolution. How does that work?
Yeah.
How did that go
So,
for you? Very well. I don't think so.
We're just gonna pull back with Luther and Gabriel having to pull
Oh
for the
no.
books, and maybe they'll be able to figure out how to.
Maybe they can reverse time.
Maybe they can.
Turn back time.
Yeah. So that was this. You managed to kill the two riders.
Totally
the reason they
classic.
were ready for you is you took so long and you talked to like every single person on the way.
We did. We
So
talked
there was,
to a
like, a
lot of
clock.
people.
For them
You
being
told us
like,
that the last group ran right out and got killed. I thought we had to like gather some sort of specific, careful piece of information or something.
that was a different adventure. And no, what
Oh.
they did was they saw the monster and they were like, we'll let it tire itself out. And they left. And they were surprised the
They were
monster
just like, bye.
killed everybody.
And they Luthered it.
Wow. We'll be tired after murdering 5 to 20 people, and then we'll get it on its way out.
The opposite of being a murder hobo. It's being a Luther.
I mean, I think they went and did a seance. They were like, oh, the seance is more interesting. And I'm like, in the spider monster? Okay.
My
Yeah, I
guy's
hope
like
you all had
hand,
fun.
my guy's hand to hand is 25. He has a pistol that he doesn't know how to use and a medical degree. Like, what was he supposed to do here?
So
That's very
you
true.
did have the magic piece of metal.
Magic?
Yeah,
Did you
so
say
it was
magic?
from their dimension. So it was designed by them, and they did so much damage because it was,
It was
out
magic.
of it was quantumly different than stuff from our reality.
Oh.
And what it did is it actually sheared through people, like just ripping electrons and stuff off of things.
Gross.
It's true.
I actually like at multiple points, and that's why I asked if I had the shard. It's like this is wherever these things like hopping on their dimension logic.
Yep.
Like maybe this can affect them more because it's it's from where they're from. But again, like he would have to get close, and that is a lot to risk on a hypothesis.
Yep. If you had made it out to the farmhouse earlier, you could have gathered information there. But yeah, so for this one, basically as soon as the investigation starts, there is a hidden timer for these things are after you next.
So what happened at the end?
So what happened in the end? You killed 2 of them.
Yay!
There were 3.
Boo!
Where was the third?
Yeah, where was the
third? One
third?
wasn't there. The third one
Ah!
had killed the rest of the house.
Oh, that's why they were all dead.
Yeah,
And nobody in the house tried to kill it?
They did. It just surprised them.
They just didn't have a car.
Is it still in the house?
No. So what
Oh.
its plan is, and this would have to be in a whole another session, is its plan is it. So Eileen Orion was able to use magic to quasi bind them to its direction.
Mm-hmm.
With PDPJs and carpet. Yeah, but also like ripping it off of everything at once. Tearing through stuff, tearing at like corks.
Does she bound it and then did my garroting her like unbind them or something?
Oh,
Oopsie
snap!
daisies.
Yep.
So since she
Whoopsies.
was,
It's a
that's
real
why
whoopsie
they
moment.
nice.
So they were just like, I guess since we're here,
Well, it was, oh good, they were actually not after Mercedes. They were after Eileen.
And they just rolled really well, and Mercedes
then
was behind Eileen.
Yeah, they had no reason not to kill Mercedes. They were like, oh hey, this is convenient.
They didn't see me as like an ally. Like, look, I'm doing your dirty work.
Oh,
and
so their
kind of
end
deal.
thing, like their whole thing is they are like they want to invade Earth and take it because they are an alien race from interdimensions that are like running from other things that are bigger and scarier than them. And they're like, and then when Eileen summons them here, they're like, ooh, this is good real estate.
They're gonna hide out in
Come on,
our
Eileen.
dimension and start life anew.
Well, the one's actually gonna. So we'd have to do a whole other session for this, but the remaining one would try to open its own gate to bring more through.
Nice, I like
Because
it.
it has a whole race.
It's got like a plan.
And then you'd have access to the Druidic Cycle and a couple of other books to try to investigate and figure out if you could stop that or not.
So then, that was really cool.
I'm glad you liked. I'm happy to hang out and keep chatting. I don't want to keep our producer too long, and I believe we're supposed to try to get learning moments. I had a better term for it.
I think that the biggest thing for me is that it actually like you are not the hero in Call of Cthulhu. You can't just run in. You will get decapitated while garroting a 70-year-old Scottish sorcerer.
I just think that
Irish.
you should try and
Also, fortune favors the bold. Who's to say?
who knew?
That's true. If we had been the correct amount of bold, we would have gotten out to the farm in time.
Yep.
Old at the
I
right
think
times.
I think that it can be really good at teaching frustration tolerance in that way, and also creative thinking.
Yes.
To build off that, I think because it's so different as far as the numbers and everything else, and kind of having to blend into like, okay, what would my residence give me? What would my birthplace give me? Like, how do I use these skills in a way that will help the group and still somewhat be in character? while also stepping back when it wouldn't be part of our character. So kind of that step up, step back dynamic, but having to think outside the box. And so I think with that in the therapeutic world is sort of, we are who we are, but like what's beyond that? What are the benefits of strengths, social worker, strength-based perspective of where we came from? Where are we currently? How do we use these skills to help the cause, even if we have no idea how it would relate? Like antique dealer, turns out she's a badass with a car. Emphasis on the bad.
The car was my favorite NPC of the game.
It normalizes insanity.
Here we have a cat. Face.
We all
Aw, what'd you roll, buddy?
She got a 54.
Yeah, nice.
Good cutie. Yeah, insanity is for everyone, you know?
Yeah.
So kind of actually piggybacking off of what Katie said a little bit, I think that this more than most games felt like something that every member of the team actually had to contribute something in order for us to advance the story forward. And I think that a lot of that is just because that's how real life works. Like you can't be good at everything. And so you need to be part of a team to be successful at this kind of thing. And like, actually, that's like another point that I think that the skills that you would learn doing this translate a little bit more easily into real life skills because it's taking place in our world.
On that, I will say that if you're ever trying to run something off of like a book or pre-written, there is a distinct lack of good off-the-shelf scenarios you can run in modern day, unless you play a subversion, which is called Delta Green, which is X-Files. So you're all government agents.
Nice.
It's just X-Files means Call of Cthulhu, and it's fun. But there is a lack of like good modern-esque scenarios, and I think
sorry.
I think it's the technology problem is from a writing and game running perspective of how do you do horror when cell phones exist? Always remains like, it's not insurmountable, it's just tricky.
Delta Green, if you remember the show Warehouse 13, Delta Green has that kind of item-esque piece to it.
Okay. Cool.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you all.
Yeah, thank you. I think we had a lot of fun with that.
Yeah. Quick, I covered this with most people. I think that actually Nikki might have been the only one that missed